Greetings and welcome to a rainy morning here on the Southern Downs. Bit of a surprise as I came home last night. I went to bed and then all of a sudden it started raining, which was not on the forecast. So that's good. We got 20 mils, or almost an inch overnight. So that's very good. We definitely needed it. But yeah, it's definitely feeling proper spring-like now. Some warmer days, and man, last night was just really warm. Like it's only got down to 14 degrees lowest. That's crazy for this time of year. That's like November weather, what we've been having. So yeah, it already feels like deep spring. So yeah, I think we're gonna have an early summer again. Last year we had. This year's probably gonna be the same or worse. So yeah, I'm already bracing myself for the heat. It's gonna get here sooner than we expect. Anyway, it's now been over 4 months that I've been on semen retention. Yeah, I didn't even realize. Like yesterday I posted a video. It's like, what day am I now? Oh, 120. Damn, 4 months. So this is technically my third time reaching 4 months. Yeah, it is. My first ever time was actually in 2022. So in early 2022, from like early till mid 2022, I went on like 4.5 months semen retention. That was during the period leading up to the big move out here. That was like a period of immense growth and transformation. The move out here, that was when I first got 4.5 months of semen retention. It was my second time getting above day 90, and yeah, I went 4.5 months. Then I fell into a bit of a slump. Not because of any of this. It was just some other personal issues I was dealing with. And anyway, I ended up relapsing eventually after that. But that streak really did set things in stone, where I realized that semen retention was indeed possible for me. It opened me up to the possibilities, although I clearly wasn't ready then to take it to even greater heights. Then my second time surpassing 4 months was, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, 2024. Had another channel that was probably my longest lasting nofap channel, like over 2 years, maybe 1.5 years, something like that. Went through many transitions on that channel, and it's no longer with me. I do wish I could have kept that channel, but that was a channel where I had issues with doxing and all that, and I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. I was just so sick and tired of I got so sick and tired of YouTube then, and I was going through some personal challenges as well. So anyway, I deleted that channel, which part of me wishes I would have just privated everything and not deleted it. But anyway, the last 2 years, as you probably know if you've been following, I've been stuck in a bit of a rut, like not able to get any longer streaks going. Like it wasn't like the old days, I could still go a few weeks and all that, but no, I wasn't able to get a long streak of semen retention going. But that's all changed. Like now, this time really does feel quite different to any of the previous times that I've gotten this far. So yeah, it's like 3 times surpassing 4 months. I've never gone more than 5 months. I think my longest ever streak was almost 5 months, just shy of 5 months, maybe 4.5. I don't remember exactly. But this, I think, is also my 6th time passing day 90. Yeah. I looked back through some of the records, and that I keep journals and all. I had journals and stuff over the years, so I think this is actually my 6th time reaching day 90. I reached it 5 times before. My first ever time reaching day 90 was summer of 2021. So like December. Ooh, it's starting to rain again. December 2020 till February 2021. So I think around my birthday, until after my 2021 February. That was my 20th birthday. So I think a bit after that I went, and then that's when I started uni for the first time. I guess when I got my first proper job working at a supermarket. Oh, like one of Australia's. I worked at Coles, cleaning, trolley collection. That was a bit of a crazy time with COVID and all that nonsense. Let's just pull this down a bit. I want to see still, cuz. All right. It's hard to do that one-handed anyway. So, anyway, all this COVID nonsense happened during that time. And man, that's a time I never want to experience again. But it opened my eyes to a lot, because it was just, I'm not even going to go into all that now. I can rant about that for hours. So yeah, that was my first time. Second time was the streak I mentioned, where I also ended up going like 4.5 months. That was leading up to the move out here, 2022. Mid-2022 moved out here. My third time reaching 90 days was early 2023 somehow. Then anyway, had some slip-ups, and anyway, then late 2023 I reached like 100 days again. So I had two 90-day streaks in 2023, and then 2024 was my last streak, where I also went like 4.5 months, something like that. So shy of 5 months. It was like pretty much tied with my streak that I mentioned earlier from 2022. And anyway, since then I have not been able to get a long streak going. It's been 2 years since then. So it's been like, I don't know. I still don't know quite why I was stuck in that rut for so long, because having gone that many times, like surpassing 90 days, like even having more 4.5 months, like having longer streaks of retention, I knew that it was possible for me. I knew I could do it. Like I had done it, but it's so interesting. Sometimes it gets to the point where you do something once, and like it's funny. I have experienced this phenomenon before, where when I have no expectations and try something the first time, I can do quite well. And then if I try to replicate that success, then suddenly it becomes so much harder. I know I'm not the only one. I know other people have experienced that, where you try something and all of a sudden suddenly you do it really well at the beginning. You're like, yeah, damn, look, I can do this. I figured this thing out. But then you try to replicate that success and you just can't anymore. It's like a scientist that they have this genius breakthrough in an experiment, right? They get these really, really good results, and then all of a sudden when they try to replicate it, it's just, they can't. So yeah, that sort of happened to me a bit. I was just stuck in a rut the last 2 years, and phone screen's wet. Can you see me even? Can you still see me, cuz? Alright, that's alright. Ah, man. So I guess, yeah, a bit of a history of my journey being on retention in this community. Yeah, a bit of a recap of this whole journey. I was actually planning on talking about an entirely different topic, but hey, I guess we're doing that. So yeah, anyway, okay, I guess I will turn this into the 4-month recap. Yeah, this was going to be a completely different video actually. I was planning to do a different video for the 4-month recap. But anyway, I will do it. Alright, I guess I'll talk about what I actually wanted to discuss, and that is anger. Because, alright, it might not seem like it now, but I'm feeling a bit angry this morning. Yeah, experiencing some anger. Yeah, mainly because of the fucking council. Local politics, council, all that, mate. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, currently we're around here. We are receiving our council rate notices. You know, the fees that we've got to pay the council for the wonderful job that they do. Ha ha ha. So, man. And so basically, what's happened is, so this council that we live under in the Southern Downs region. I love the Southern Downs region, but if there's something that everyone that lives here can get behind, this is one of the worst fucking councils out there. Really, it is. I'm just going to come out and say it. This council is a joke. I mean, look, there's a lot of alleged things going on behind the scenes, and of course, this is not the only council with these alleged issues, but the fees that we pay, the council rates, are just, it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. So, all right, if you've been following, you know, like the situation, like the block where I live and all this, yeah, and it's been set up for off-grid living and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, the block I live on is classed as rural residential. So you can either be classed as rural residential or residential. So residential would be like, if you're like living somewhere, you can be classed as residential or rural residential in this council. So residential is like you have a house inside, you know, town boundaries, inside city limits, town boundaries. We don't have any cities. It's like inside the town. You have a townhouse, in town that's just residential standard. It's pretty much like a standard sized block. But then if you're outside of town, say you're not connected to mains water and all this, like, then you're classed as rural residential, right? And our block is classed as rural residential, even though like the council is throwing all these things of like what you can and can't do. Basically, I'm not going to go into all the personal stuff there, but basically stuff that you should be able to do on a rural residential block, the council is told us like explicitly, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, all that, even though it's like, so basically like if you have a residential block, you pay the highest council rates because you've got like garbage collection, town water, all that, you pay the highest rates, okay? Rural residential, you might be connected to power, but oftentimes not mains water, and no garbage disposal. So like block I live on, no garbage disposal, no town water, and we would have the option to connect to electricity. There's a power pole close by, but we just opted, well, the cost of getting we would have had to get a new power pole put in, and the cost of like getting a new power pole put in and connecting the town to power cost significantly more than it was to go off grid. Like I just thought, you know what, like this is going to cost so much to connect to town power, and then of course electricity these days are so expensive. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to look into this whole off-grid thing and just go off-grid in terms of power. Easy. Already had water tanks and stuff, had a new one put in, all that. So water tanks, were never connected to town water, and that wouldn't have been the plan anyway. Rural residential block. But anyway, so not paying no electricity bill, no water bill, and so what the fuck does the council actually do for us? Now you can say, okay, well, the council does more than that, road maintenance. Yeah, our fucking roads here, mate. Our roads, our heavily potholed roads. Like there's some really dangerous stretches of road that, they'll come occasionally, they'll patch them up, and then the next big rain, it's just washed away and the potholes get even bigger. Like the roads are an absolute joke. They do absolutely nothing. Even in like inside town, like even like the major town of this region is Warwick. Even if you go into Warwick, like there's stretches that have shitty roads. They can't even maintain proper roads in a bloody town. It's ridiculous. So the roads are a joke. We don't get any services like garbage disposal, not connected to town water, not connected to electricity, which electricity would be private anyway, not through the council. So the only thing it's like, okay, you're connected to town water, you're connected to what am I saying? Town water, and you get garbage disposal. Okay, fair. But so anyway, basically what I'm pissed off about is everyone's council rates now have gone up by 9%, and this is already one of the most expensive councils in Queensland. So, mate, you know what's insane? The rates that are paid, the rates that we're paying here at the block, living off grid, is more than what my parents paid on the Gold Coast. On the Gold Coast, right? I mean, my parents, like, I grew up in the house my parents built, house I grew up in. Yeah, my parents paid, we of course, not off grid or anything, connected to grid, all that. Yeah, anyway, my parents paid, I think, it's probably gone up now, but anyway, well, my parents paid only about 60% council rates living on the Gold Coast as what I have to pay here, living on the block. I mean, a big factor also is the size of the block and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, it's just ridiculous living off grid, paying this much. Should I even say how much? For 6 months council rates, it's coming up, it's due very soon, $1,200. 6 months council rates, living off grid, $1,200. Getting charged the full rural residential council rates, even though not connected to literally anything, don't have any proper services from them. The roads are shit, like even the road just outside the block, potholes everywhere. You get nothing from this council, and they do that, and then the council rates for everyone, rural residential, rural block is a bit less, but even for but it's like, anything that's class residential, council rates up by 9%, and they claim, like this current mayor that's in charge of this council area was elected as an independent, right? We are technically in an independent, have an independent council, independent mayor. Like the previous ruling party was kicked out. We got an independent mayor. She's like, yes, I'm from the people. I'm independent like you. Well, what has changed? What has changed since this new mayor got in? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, it's just kept on getting worse. And it's just like, yeah, you got all these things like independent politicians coming up. Like, how many of them are actually independent? It's just a joke. It's a joke. So anyway, that pisses me off that it's all going up. Everyone's angry. Everyone's angry about this. I'm angry about that, of course. This council nonsense. I'm almost at the point where it's like, do I don't even need a council? I live off grid. It's just, I tell you what I think. I tell you what I think about how politics should be run. So, as in some other countries like Australia, we have 3 levels of government. We have federal, state, and local. This is just talking about the local council that I'm complaining about mainly. I would actually say, all right, well, we need a federal government, of course, for international relations, foreign affairs, defense, military, all that. Yeah, we need a federal government. And a country like Australia it makes sense to have states, right? I would honestly say Australian states are too big. We should break up the states into smaller states, smaller territories, and just abolish local councils entirely. Why not just break up the states into much smaller territories, have it easier to deal with a smaller population than each state, and just abolish local councils entirely? Because what the hell do we get? What the hell do they actually do? Like, yeah, connected to the grid, yeah, I'll pay for water, pay for whatever services I want to get, I'll pay for that. But it's like, this blanket rates and the way things are run is just absolutely criminal. It's just ridiculous. That makes me angry. But anyway, when I wanted to talk about anger, I also wanted to just speak on semen retention and anger, because in the past I mentioned, like, when I was on longer streaks of retention, that I faced challenges dealing with got more irritated easily. Things would make me more irritable. I would get just angry for seemingly no reason. This time around, I haven't really experienced that. I've definitely become more, you could say, aggressive. I'm assertive. Assertive is the right word. Become more assertive, more sure of myself, more confident. The way I carry myself is different when I'm on retention. But no, I haven't experienced much increase in anger. In fact, I feel much calmer this time around compared to previous streaks. And I think probably the anger I was experiencing before was more so because of just underlying issues. Like, this current thing of me feeling angry, it's just a flash of anger where it's like reaction to this council nonsense. So yeah, it's interesting. I feel generally much calmer, more grounded, more focused, and all the benefits that I've mentioned of semen retention, it's all there. So anyway, that's it. I've got to get going. I am working the next 3 days at my old job. So yeah, catch you on the next one. Onwards and upwards.